In this video, we're going to show you how businesses can ask their followers a question using Snapchat Stories and then create a new story to reply to that question. Let's go. Hi, my name is Jonathan Tanner and I'm the CEO and co-founder here at Social Media College. Though some platforms like TikTok and Instagram have taken center stage this year, Snapchat is still a relevant platform with an enthusiastic audience. There are 238 million daily active users, and the average user spends about 30 minutes a day on the platform. Businesses who are trying to reach young audiences, particularly millennials, Gen Z and younger, should consider staying active on the platform and leveraging all of its latest and greatest features to keep users engaged. For the past year, one of the biggest features of Snapchat was the ability to ask and answer questions using a third-party tool that allowed users to submit questions to the brand. What are Snapchat Story questions? Snapchat Stories can be made up of multiple snaps, which can be images or very short videos that are available for 24 hours after posting. Over the last year, a recent trend has emerged where you can add a sticker to your story that lets users send anonymous messages to your account. You can either ask your followers questions or encourage them to ask you anything. Then respond to these comments in your own stories. So how do you ask Snapchat Stories questions? You really have two options here. If you want to keep it simple, you can add text to an image with Snapchat's native in-app editor that encourages users to answer a question or submit their own questions. You can then monitor your inbox closely and write up the Q&As in some way in your stories. The much more common choice is to use a third-party tool like the currently popular one called YOLO. This is a separate standalone app that you'll need to download and then connect to your Snapchat account by logging in with your Snap credentials. Though it uses a third-party tool, it feels like a seamless integration that looks like the Instagram question sticker. Users are able to tap on the text box, type in it, and submit their response. Once you receive the response, you can respond to it in your stories publicly. How to use YOLO to ask and answer Snapchat Stories questions. After YOLO is set up and synced to your Snapchat account, it's a straightforward process. Change the text in the question box to whatever you want your audience to respond to. You can ask them a question, or you can prompt them to ask you something. You have the option to be specific, like, what do you want to know about our new product line? Or to be more generic, like, ask us anything. You can change the color of the text box, so consider what image you'll use in the background. Once you're happy with the question, click the yellow Share button in the bottom right corner. This will pull up your text box. You can then add an image or a video to the background and add all of your standard story elements. It never hurts to use arrows to encourage users to answer questions or to pay attention to parts of the video. Publish it to your stories and then wait. Users can swipe up and then enter a response. When you receive the anonymous responses, you'll get a notification and you can view it in the YOLO app. You can respond directly and then publish the reply in a new story. You can add another image or video in the background of your response. Great use cases for stories questions. Snapchat Stories questions are an excellent way to increase on-platform engagement and to establish relationships with your target audience. There are a few great use cases that you may want to consider, including the following. Number one, hosting Q&As. Giving users unfettered access to ask whatever they'd like about your business can be exciting. They can learn a ton about your brand and receive what feels like inside information in exchange. Number two, gathering feedback. Anonymous feedback can be invaluable, and hearing what people have to say about your brand, a product, or even what they want to see on the platform is a fantastic opportunity. Number three, coming up with new content ideas. When people ask questions, it means that there's a need for information. This sounds obvious, but in some cases, you can take these questions and turn them into more long-form content, including YouTube videos, blog posts, and other educational resources. Final thoughts, story questions, best practices. When you're using YOLO to garner anonymous responses to prompts that put you out into the world, it's important to know a few best practices to help get the results that you want. Keep in mind the following. Number one, be prepared for trolls. Businesses have public accounts and trolls are on every platform. People may send you insulting messages or ask offensive questions. Just ignore them, and if needed, you can block them altogether. Number two, try to ask specific questions when you can. The more specific you are, the more likely users will be to engage. You can even ask, do you have any questions? Following educational stories or announcements. Number 3, respond quickly. Picking at least 3 to 5 responses every time you ask a question to respond to in your stories is a good practice. It shows users that you're reading the questions and it keeps them engaged long term. And if you see someone who repeatedly participates, try to answer their questions whenever possible. Snapchat story questions truly are an exceptional way to engage your audience. And you can use the same prompts that you're using with Instagram's question sticker if you start to run out of ideas. Take advantage of the cross-platform engagement to reach more members of your target audience. Do you want to learn more about how to optimize your social media channels to accomplish your marketing goals? Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest tips and tricks, and check out our recent blog posts linked in the description below to see examples of how these strategies work in action. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified the next time we drop another video. My name again is Jonathan Tanner, CEO and co-founder here at Social Media College. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.